Hello and welcome to the She Who Dares Wins podcast. And my guest today is Claire. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I got to start off with the question that everyone else gets. So, She Who Dares Wins. Tell me how you've dared and won.
I dared by launching a business 2 months after the sudden death of my daughter, and I won by it's still going 8 years later, 9 years later.
Wow, that is pretty impressive. 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay, incredible. Can you take us back to that kind of journey?
So that time, probably like I'll go back to, I had a daughter already who was 5, Layla, and she just started school and I was about to give birth to another baby, and that was going to be me done with breeding. And it was done that way on purpose because I didn't want to pay lots of childcare fees because it's so expensive. Charlotte was born. The way she came into the world was even quite a whirlwind. I started having contractions at about 7:45 in the morning, and she was born on the living room floor at 9:55.
Wow.
Literally, my partner walked through the door to catch her. I'd done the whole of labour on my own. So no pain relief. So she's a whirlwind, and it was great. I felt great. She was the most amazing baby. And like we kept saying, she's too good to be true. And she slept, she was gorgeous. And I did work freelance at the time, and I was supposed to be going back to work after 10 weeks, but my contract ended. So I ended up having an unplanned, unpaid maternity leave. But I thought, I'm never going to do this again. So I wanted to enjoy that time with what I thought was going to be my last baby. Anyway, fast forward to June 2017, and she was 7.5 months old, just had the most amazing day out. And we had family coming the next day because it was Father's Day. Boiling hot day, and we were just so happy. And basically, she went to bed that night and never woke up. So Charlotte was in bed with me, which I feel a lot of guilt around. I went to bed about 11 o'clock and she was crying. So I gave her a bottle in bed with me. We both fell asleep, and I woke up at 4:30, reached across to her, and she was cold. So I phoned an ambulance. I had to perform CPR on her, and we rushed into hospital, and she was dead. She was gone. Because she was in bed with me, and because I'd had a couple of glasses of wine that evening, I was arrested. I was put under caution by the police. Right. And it was just that process went on for over a year because we needed to have an inquest for me to be exonerated. Okay. So I've got this going on. I've lost my baby. I've got another child in the house who's 5 who I need to look after. I've got debt because I've been living off credit cards while I was on maternity leave because I thought I was going back to work. I thought it was a temporary situation, so I've got debt. And then I found out that I was pregnant in the midst of all this as well, which was a surprise.
Oh my gosh.
So I was sat, what do I do? Just one morning, literally, my daughter was at school. I had a bucket next to me because I had horrific morning sickness. I'm looking at these unpaid credit card bills. I'm deep in grief. I'm pregnant. I work in the world of digital marketing, so I've already been out of it for nearly a year. If I don't get back into it soon, what am I going to do? I'm going to lose my momentum because it's such a fast-paced industry. So I kind of like just wrote something on the back of an unpaid credit card statement, which was Sunshine Digital. And I was like, right, that's what my business is going to be called. And it went from there, really. I'd been freelance for a few years because I'm not very good at working in teams. I'm better on my own. But I never wanted to properly launch a business that I was the face of because I was scared. And I just thought, launching a business and having it fail is absolutely nothing compared to your child dying.
Yeah.
So let's just do it, because otherwise I'm never going to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I opened a Facebook page, Sunshine Digital, downloaded an image of a sunflower because that's my logo, because she was my sunshine, was Charlotte. So the business is kind of for her, and went from there really. Just started to put myself out there, and the first client that I won was FirstGroup PLC. So
Wow.
yeah. So
Holy Moses.
yeah, and I think me before, if that opportunity, the job spec, the contract spec had ended up on my desk, I wouldn't have dared to do it. I would be like, oh no, I don't know what that software is. And I was like, oh, I'll just see what happens. What's the worst that happens? I get there and they're like, oh, actually, we don't want you. You can't use this. So I just winged it and got it. And I was with them for about 18 months. And I used to kind of hide the fact that I was pregnant.
Right. I've been there. It's hard.
Yeah. Till eventually, when I was about 8 months pregnant, and they were like, and I was like, it's okay. I'm not an employee. You can talk about it.
Yeah.
Because in a big organisation, they're so trained to like follow HR, and they can't talk about it, can they? They can't mention it or ask you. So they were like, this contract, are you going to be able to finish it? And I was like, can I have 2 weeks off? So yeah, that was my first contract really, first big client. And then it just grew from there. I've worked with loads and loads of local businesses in and around Farsley and Rodley as well, which is what brings me joy, working with a small business. And in amongst having another baby, dealing with the grief as well. So it's been, that's what I dared to do really, was launch a business when I was literally at my lowest.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, there's nothing worse. So to throw yourself into something where you kind of have the mindset of, what's the worst?
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't want to be the kind of organisation where I have employees. I do have some people that subcontract her, and a virtual assistant who is the actual boss of me. But nobody relies on me other than my family. So I was like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't work out. I don't have to do this big thing where I have to shut a shop or anything like that. I would just quietly retreat.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think starting the business helped you as well with the grieving process?
Yeah, I think I've always, like, even when I was like at college and stuff, I always had about 3 jobs. I've always been somebody that works.
Yeah.
Quite hardworking. So to be on maternity leave with no baby is,
Of course,
is just, and then pregnant again.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do with yourself? I felt lost.
Yeah.
So I needed a purpose really, and that gave me a purpose. And because I'd been doing freelance digital marketing for people, I knew I had to market myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you'd already kind of got a good steady for that. And
Yeah. So I knew it's very different doing it for myself than it is for a paying client, because you've got to you sort of believe in someone else more than you do yourself.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult. So so putting myself out there, I knew how to do it, and I knew how to set a business up. I think.
It's one of those, isn't it? You just kind of like wing it, and like you say, you start with an idea, which I love the fact that you wrote that on a piece of paper. I think a lot of guests that I have on this show will write something just crazy or scribble a sketch. It's where it starts, isn't it? It's just like this one thing that kicks things going, and you get to. But I mean, to land a client like that as your first is
I was due some luck, but that was really lucky. Yeah,
definitely. And then so you got the business running, and then your son was then born.
He was born, and I didn't take maternity leave as such with him. I couldn't, because they had a lucrative contract and the business was doing really well. So he was born. My elder daughter was 6 by then, and it was really difficult, because I absolutely adore him, but I resented resented what had happened to Charlotte. I resented having to be pregnant and do the whole baby thing again because I thought I was done.
Right.
And I kind of didn't get... My body wasn't in a very good way because I had 2 pregnancies so close together.
Right. Yeah.
Like I was, had Charlotte, and then 8 months later, I was pregnant again.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the idea. That wasn't what was going to happen. So my body was knackered. I was knackered. I was grieving, and I think I'd almost had to put my grief, sort of park it to an extent. It wasn't that I wasn't feeling it, but I had to protect myself because I was pregnant. So I had to take care of myself. And then I know when he was born, it was a relief that firstly he was okay, even though he did spend a couple of days in special baby unit, but also that other people could now help me look after him. It wasn't all on me, which I felt that pressure in pregnancy. And also everybody around me was so happy as well that I was having this baby, and they saw this as, some happiness in all this shit that had happened. So I felt massive pressure from everybody else, even though they didn't mean that. Like, I'd made everybody sad by Charlotte dying, and everybody was happy that I was pregnant and this new life coming. Like, what if there's something wrong? That's just going to be horrendous.
I was going to say, there must be an element of fear that always creeps in when you've lost one, that then you just always carry that.
Yeah, and scientifically, like, Charlotte's death was put down to SIDS, but scientifically, if you've lost one child to SIDS, the odds of you losing another are really, the increase quite dramatically. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's something they've never really been able to explain, have they?
No, they can't. It sometimes happens in adults.
Yeah.
It's more likely to happen in babies. And a lot of the aspect, if they're in bed with you, which she was, the odds are higher. If it turned out that she had an ear infection as well when they did the post-mortem, so them having something like that.
Right.
It was really hot. She was teething. So there's all these aspects that can increase the odds of it happening. So yeah. And you just get, especially when he got to around the same age.
Yeah, the fear.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you, like you say, the external perception with people is that, you've got this next baby that's come in, but internally you've got all those things going on.
Yeah.
Plus, like, you've got your eldest that you're looking at, plus the new business, plus the debt. Like, how the hell did you do that? Do you ever look back at that now and go, well, this is how I did it? Or
not really. And I think that's why I think it's important for me to talk about it, because but I don't really think it was anything special. I just did what I had to.
Do you think it's almost like a survival instinct?
Yeah. And I think it's, and this sounds quite dramatic, but if I didn't have my elder daughter, I absolutely would not be here.
Right, okay.
And that's, but I couldn't, it wasn't an option because I had another child who needed me. And I was always very much, I've lost half my children, but she does not deserve half a mother.
Yeah.
And I'm going to carry on.
Yeah.
Because she had her first sports day the day after Charlotte died. And I went, and it was like everyone was staring at me. I'll never forget, everyone was staring at me like, oh my God, how can you be here? How can I not? It's my daughter's first sports day, and I'm going to be here.
Is that one of the hardest things to deal with, is like other people?
Yeah. Because everybody judges you for how they think you should be in bed weeping. And I wasn't. That was never me. So they want you to be a certain way because that's how they will be. And the fact that you're up and about and going to your daughter's sports day, and they're just everybody. There was a couple of people who I'll never forget who kind of came and put their arm around me and like, come sit on our picnic blanket, and kind of just gave me a hug, but everybody else just stared at me.
So it's like another level of like, it's so inhumane, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They don't know what to say, so they don't say anything. So I don't know how I got through. I think getting pregnant, although at the time I was like, oh, for God's sake, this is great, but also, come on, this is just a bit, what else can my man cope with? I think getting pregnant was a good thing because I had to eat. I wasn't eating. I was drinking too much. I was hardly sleeping. So I think I had to take care of him. I had to do the basic things because I had to take care of him.
Yeah.
And I think I had to kind of sort of almost distance myself from it. But I just had to put one foot in front of the other, really.
Yeah.
And also, Charlotte she was so, you know, like when people die and everyone says they were amazing, and it's a lie. Like my nana, when she died, everyone was on about what a lovely lady she was. She was, but she was also a right bitch. Like, you know, she would say some horrible things to you. Like, you'd walk in, you'd drive 50 miles to see her, and you'd walk in and she wouldn't say hello. She'd go, "Oh, you used to have such lovely legs." So she wasn't always...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so she wasn't always a nice person, but Charlotte was this amazing baby. And I don't know if it's because I was calmer because I cut my teeth on parenting the first one, because I think you are calmer with the second. But she slept from being about 10 days old, and she she just was happy and smiley all the time. She was no bother. And like we said, we'd said she's too good to be true, and then she died. But also she was so happy, and she was so, like, I used to call her my sunshine. And she doesn't deserve to be the thing that brings so much darkness into our lives. She didn't deserve to be the thing that broke me. I refuse to let that define me.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective, and like such a positive one of when you lose someone, to make it into the most positive thing you absolutely can.
Yeah, and I think I have.
Yeah.
Because absolutely, and I think when I had Jack, everybody thought, "Oh, she's got another baby now, she's fixed." And it's really hard to explain to people. I love Charlotte as much as anyone loves their child.
Yeah.
But I can't love her.
Yeah.
I can't parent her. I can't care for her. But I still have that. Like, I have 3 kids. One of them might not be on the earth, but I still have 3 kids. And some people think that's bonkers. But it's still, I've got that love. I've got nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult. It's my daughter's birthday later this week, and it should be Charlotte's ninth birthday the week after.
Right.
So it's quite a difficult time because I'm planning one birthday for a young girl, and then I've got another one that I should be planning, but I've got nothing I can't do that because she's dead.
Yeah.
And I've got nowhere to put that energy. So I'll do something on her actual birthday. She's got a stone down at Farsley Rehoboth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She was interned there a couple of years ago. So I'll go and visit her and stuff like that. But there's nothing, if you think when your kids' birthdays are all the effort and all the joy, I've got nowhere to put that.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult.
Yeah. I wouldn't have any words. It's like one of those things, isn't it? It's so hard to comprehend from the other side.
Yeah.
But with the business then, so do you feel like that was a vehicle for you to put that almost that love into? I know it's like becomes big part of you and something that you can control. And
I felt like I wanted to do something to make her proud of me, but also like a lot of people after they lose a child or they have a traumatic event, they start a charity. Well, charity had to begin at home for me. Mm-hmm. So I started that instead to finance us. And don't get me wrong, I've got a 4-year-old Nissan Juke. We don't have a luxury lifestyle. But I don't want it to be that, really. I just want it to be enough for us to be comfortable.
Well, you needed do you need something stable? Because financial is like a huge rock, isn't it?
Yeah,
as well,
as
well as the everything that goes on in family life.
Yeah.
It would have been, like you say, so easy to just fall.
It would have been so easy to fall, and you know, there's still times when like I will have bad days, and I've got a friend who's lost her brother suddenly, and we were talking about it and we're having the conversation, and I was like, she was wanting me to say it gets easier, and it doesn't, but it's almost like, do you know when you go to the gym and the first time you pick up a 5 kilo weight and you're like, oh, that's all right, but it's a bit heavy. And then you find you train yourself and then you're going and picking up like 40 kilos and it feels better. It doesn't get easier, you get stronger, and you have to almost train yourself to carry it.
Yeah.
And you get better at carrying it. But there are other times when it just feels so heavy.
Yeah.
And I think quite often when someone dies suddenly or loses a child and they know me, they put them in contact and I will speak to the parent or something. That's the hardest bit, is they want you to tell them that they're going to be okay and they're not going to feel it. They're going to be okay, but you're going to feel that every day, and it's a massive weight to carry.
Yeah. Do you think it's a big thing then that that we don't discuss it enough? We don't discuss loss, and it's like, I mean, one of my best friends from school, she lost her husband during COVID to bowel cancer, and yeah, you, as someone that hasn't experienced it, you don't know what to say. But I always was like, I know it's hard, isn't it? You don't want it to be about you, because it's not about you.
No.
But if we discussed it more, it would help everyone involved. And like you say, those people that were staring at you during like sports day, that might change.
Exactly. And I think everyone's scared to mention your lost loved ones, because they think that they're going to remind you. We don't forget them.
Yeah.
So it's not by mentioning a name, you're not going to make me like upset, because one of my things is that I don't want people to forget.
Right.
And I'm scared that people will forget her.
Right.
Because she's got no legacy other than me. Yeah. And I take that really seriously. So yeah, that's the thing. You're never going to upset somebody by talking about the lost loved one, because we want to hear it. And I remember, like, when it was Charlotte's first birthday, because she didn't get her first birthday, everyone was like, what can we do? And I was like, send her a card with a memory of her that you've got, you know, something that I might not remember or something that I might not have. And we got absolutely flooded by pictures that people had taken, like, that I didn't know, like a christening and things like that, flooded with memories. And I've got this box with them all in, and that meant so much that everybody had these memories of her.
Yeah, it's like you say, someone would probably be really cautious about doing that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's such
yeah.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so there were things, like I said, there were pictures that I didn't know existed that I got, like things that friends had taken when we'd been out for a coffee, like of her, like asleep or something like that they'd rummaged through their phones and found. And there was one of my neighbours, she sent me some pictures that I'd sent her. Her cat used to come and visit my house, and I laid Charlotte on the bed when she was tiny, and a cat had fallen asleep wrapped around her. And I'd taken a picture, and I'd forgotten about that, and she'd printed that out and said, you sent me this, and it really made me laugh how chilled you were that my mangy old cat was sleeping around your baby. But I just thought it was funny.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah. So, but I think as time's gone on, people don't remember the same.
Yeah, people move on, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
You don't. You don't. You don't want to move on. Also, it's like you say, it's in memory of.
You're stuck, and it does. It's heavy. It is heavy, but I think you do build a life around it, and you do find joy again, even that you don't think you will. You find it in very strange places, but you do find joy again.
Where do you find it? Like, so do you, like, did the work that you were doing, like, it sounds like it was kind of a survival thing.
Yeah.
But also, was there joy in that work?
Yeah, there was joy in that. A massive, like, the financial side was something that I could control. I could tackle it and make a difference. I couldn't tackle the grief. And I work with a lot of, like, businesses locally. I also... I run Find It in Farsley, so I run that and showcase local businesses, but I also support a lot of small business owners. And because I've got these kind of pieces of work with bigger, more corporate clients, I'm able to work with smaller business at a lesser price, because I absolutely love doing that. It brings
so you're
me
giving back
so
to the community
much
in that
joy.
way, in helping others that are, because when you are at the bottom and you're starting out, it's hard, it's tough, and I don't think people talk about that. I think it's one of those things, people see that you've gone out on a limb and they think that's amazing for them, they're going to carve their own path, and actually, like, it's fucking hard.
It's so hard. Like in COVID, like I lost 90% of my business overnight. Like this is quite crass, but luckily one of my clients was a funeral director,
Right.
so they were really busy.
Oh, God. Okay.
So they kind of kept me going over COVID, because they didn't really need to market themselves, but you know,
business was flying.
Yeah, business was good, so they sort of kept me going. But I don't know what, if, in all jokes aside, if I didn't have them, I don't think I'd have had a business left.
Yeah.
But then my business sort of changed because I used to deliver digital marketing and content. Content's my thing, really, for people. And then during COVID, everybody decided that we might be online, but we're not on it very well. We need to really up our online presence. So everybody wanted my help. So I started doing a lot of, I don't like to call myself a coach because I'm not a coach, but mentoring and teaching people how to do their own socials, how to produce their own content, what difference that having an actual content strategy makes. So I started doing that as like a standalone piece with people. And I love that. Seeing them because it was all over Zoom, you were talking to them and they were so overwhelmed. You could see the light bulbs going off, like cartoon light bulbs. Oh, it can be that easy. Yes, it can be that easy. Yeah. It's not rocket science. So I still do that. I also created a membership as well where people pay pay a monthly amount, so I could keep it really quite low. But I've built that community as well. So there's about 20 of us in that community. Oh, nice. The Shine Online Club.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
I think half of it comes down to that, doesn't it? It's community.
It is.
It's who you're connected to. It's your support system, and that can sometimes be outside of family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you kind of also find this new, for me anyway, this new pocket that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can go so long closed in what we know.
Yeah.
And actually, when you open up and find new things, it's like different stages of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think quite a lot of my good friends I've lost as well.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, when people don't know what to do, or if there's certain ways that people react, that you really get to know people, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you do. You really do. Some people were amazing when it happened, but then when I wasn't the same person, or maybe I wasn't, I think maybe some people liked me being a victim. And then when I was no longer a victim, I didn't fit their narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people still want you to be down.
Yeah. I think that, and I think I am really, one thing that I am very aware of is I'm not as empathetic as I used to be. If someone says to me, oh, my 92-year-old nana died, I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that.
But they were nice too.
Yeah, it's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a little bit like, that's life.
And that is understandable to have experienced that.
Yeah. But then, I say my friend's brother died. He was 50, heart attack. He was out in Saudi actually, on his own, working. And he hadn't been in contact, and they found him. When that happened, I'm still now heartbroken for her. Yeah. Because that's tragic.
Yeah.
A 92-year-old dying is not
Yeah.
tragic.
Yeah.
It's life. I mean, they might die under tragic circumstances, but I don't know, they get pneumonia or something and they're frail, it's not a tragedy. It's just what happens. So I am a little bit. And when someone's just getting really worked up over something that doesn't matter. And I'm quite blunt, and I know I am, and I have to really watch myself because that is important to them.
Well, your perspective now on life and how precious it is, what we can and can't control, I imagine is quite different from somebody that's had quite a comfortable life.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hard for you to then relate, like you say, when someone is, being a bit precious over something quite menial.
Yeah. My flight was delayed for 4 hours getting back from holiday. It was horrific. That wasn't horrific.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of an inconvenience, but it wasn't horrific, really, was it?
In the greater spectrum of things.
Yeah. So I am a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think when I'm because I've got this membership where I'm coaching clients to create the content, and when they don't do it, I am quite harsh with them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but I think they quite like that. They call me the nicest bully they know. But it's I didn't do it today because, this happened and this happened. I'm not good enough. You need to do it. And if you don't do it, no one else is going to do.
Yeah.
You're not accountable to me. You're accountable to yourself.
Yeah. So,
I do find that I was always quite no nonsense anyway. And now I'm literally no nonsense.
Yeah. You're incredibly open, which I think is wonderful. like how much of your story do you kind of let out there? Like, do you protect what's happened to you, or are you quite?
I don't protect because I feel that I owe it to Charlotte, and I owe it to others as well, other people who've lost children. And it's really difficult because I've been on other podcasts before, and they're like, "Oh God, you're amazing. Your story's inspiring." I just did what I had to do, but if it can help one person, then it's worth telling my story.
Yeah.
So no, I don't hold back. I'm not massively a private person, and I'm proud of myself for where I've come from.
Yeah.
And it could have broken me, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I think there's people going through all sorts that we don't know about, and there is joy at the other side. And if someone can hear that, then it's worth me sitting here and talking to you today, that time.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, it's a story shared that it will touch somebody not somebody, lots of people out there that might be in the same position, or they might be in the same position that you are.
Yeah.
Like from now onwards, like what's kind of goals for you, life goals, career goals, or are you just taking every day as it comes? Like, is that perspective shift now?
So I'll just skip back a bit. In 2022, I got quite ill. Didn't really know what was wrong with me. My son had a sickness bug and ended up in hospital. And then I got it, and it wasn't going. So for about 3 weeks, I felt horrendous. I couldn't get out of bed. And very long story short, I ended up in hospital for a month. And when my GP just kept saying, "Oh, you're okay." And I eventually ignored them and went to A&E. And I was in multiple organ failure. So I was in heart, liver and kidney failure. So basically it turned out that I still have something called heart failure.
Okay.
So my heart was only working at 8% of what it should do. So oxygen wasn't getting to my organs, so they were dying. And
8%?
8%, yeah.
Holy shit.
And that's why I was sleeping all the time, because I had no oxygen.
Right.
So I'd had the thing with Charlotte. I kind of got back on my feet, and then this happened. And I was just like, we'd had COVID in the mix of this as well. And I was just like, oh, for God's, what else? What else can you do? I was 39, and they basically said that you've got heart failure, you've got this damage done to your heart. We're not sure whether it's a virus, whether it was something genetic. We're not sure why it's happened, but it's happened. And you're going to have a pacemaker. You're going to have probably it's going to be life limiting. You're probably going to have your house adapted, because you're not going to be able to manage stairs because of the lack of oxygen in your body. And I was like, right, okay, great. And then I was like, no, that's not happening. It's not going to be my life. And I just read up on it and just started gradually pushing myself to walk to the end of the drive, and then a bit further and a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. And they said my heart would never repair, and it went from being 8% to 55%, which 55% of a working heart at resting, 60% is normal, so it's just below normal. Within about 6 months, I was doing spin class. I took up cold water swimming, and then became a cold water swim guide, so I could take other people.
Do you still swim?
Yeah, at least once a week. So
cold water.
Yeah, all year round.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because there's a lot of stories like this where people are told, you're not coming back from this.
Yeah.
And how much of it do you think is the mental side?
I think it's a lot to do with the mental side. And I was like, well, I've had something really shit happen. I'm not now going to live the rest of my life in a downstairs bedroom like an old lady with a tank of oxygen. There's no way that's happening. I owe it to myself. I owe it to my kids. And I just dug in. I take meds every day. I didn't have to have any operations, touch wood. Mm-hmm. And I won't have to now. I just have to go and see him every 2 years, unless I get a problem. So Yeah, I'm literally in medical books as a medical marvel.
Wow.
But I got in cold water quite quickly, and the cold water thing as well. For me, the first time I went in, because after losing Charlotte, I was massively depressed and down. I also felt quite numb. I didn't really feel joy, but I didn't feel that sad. I was just always hovering, and getting in cold water, it's almost like it reset my fight or flight mechanism. And I was like smiling and so happy, and it just brought me so much joy. And I was like, I need to do that again, yay. And I've gone from there, and that's like my happy place now.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's something so incredibly basic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that, there's all these external things that are supposed to make us happy.
Yeah.
And actually just like the nature and just cold water, which is incredibly easy to get into.
Yeah, it is.
such
It's
as-
really, it's everyone's like, oh, equipment. You don't really need any equipment.
No.
It's free.
Yeah.
Just got to know where to go.
Was there any advice given? Because obviously with heart, and you're going into something that
Yeah,
potentially could give shock.
They said we don't know what it'll do to you, so I'm just like, oh, well, let's see.
There's a risk. I like that. I'm just like, well, I'm not sure. Let's just do it. That's the worst that could happen.
That's the worst. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah. So to be fair, the first time that I did it was August. So it wasn't absolutely
Well,
freezing.
they say cold water swimmers are born in the summer.
Yeah,
You
they
start,
are.
don't you?
They are. And then I
yeah.
was like determined to have a week. Like I had surgery, planned surgery last year, and I begged the surgeon to glue me rather than stitch me so I could get back in the water quicker.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And he was like, I will if I can. And I had like surgery, and I was supposed to be like on bed rest, but I was down in the water 7 days later.
Have you got like a favourite spot?
Yeah, I've got St Aidan's.
Okay.
Over in it's Allerton by Water. It's the other side of Leeds.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's got loads of no swimming signs around it.
Rule breaker.
Yeah,
I
rule
like
breaker.
it. I like it.
Well, you they say you're not allowed to swim, but technically you are.
Right. Okay.
They can't stop you.
Right.
So,
Have you been to Paulbridge?
Yeah. I've been to Paulbridge a few times.
So I took some mates a couple of weeks ago. On a Sunday night, so we all skipped putting the kids to bed.
Yeah.
And there is something said. I was like, everyone just bring tea and cake.
Yeah.
Get in there, and there were some that were confident. I am not a confident swimmer, so I was like, I'm just gonna pull around, and I think that's really important as well, because I think cold water swimming makes you think about you. So like one of my mates was like, oh, normally I'd be swimming around.
Yeah.
And she was like, but I was like, you just got to go with what you feel. Like, let's cut the crap about how you want to be with the others or do whatever, like what works for you.
Yeah. And I loved it so much that I trained to be a swim guide for a charity called Mental Health Swims.
Okay.
And I run a monthly swim as a volunteer.
Ah, nice. Is that the one where is that the trial that they're doing for the NHS, or is that something different?
No, that's something different.
Okay.
But I know they are doing some stuff for the
Yes.
NHS.
Yeah.
Because it had such a positive benefit on my mental health and how I felt. I just really wanted to share that with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone would say, take me. And I just thought, I don't really feel confident I'm all right with I can be responsible for myself in cold water, but I don't want to be responsible for others without training and insurance.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
But also I didn't want to pay for that myself because it's like a hobby.
Yeah.
So I found out this charity and launched my own swim, and we go every month, as I say, and it's every month, and then we usually go on New Year's Day.
Oh, nice.
Everyone stands and watches the crazy people. But yeah, I think with the cold water swimming, and I've never had a swim where I feel bad afterwards.
Right.
I always feel happy
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think it is a massive thing for you. I'm glad the NHS is doing that trial.
Yeah.
Because I think it will benefit a lot of people.
It seems to be women as well that when they do it, like you say, the biggest impact is wow. And I want to do it again. And almost like that. They say things like gym can be addictive and the dopamine high.
Yeah.
And with swimming, it definitely lasts.
Oh, yeah.
Like I couldn't we went quite late. It was like 5-6 o'clock. And then I struggled to go to sleep.
Because you were.
And I think it was that high of like, yeah.
Yeah. I did, like, one of my resolutions one year. It was a year where there were 13 moons because it was a blue moon. And I was like, I'm going to swim under every full moon this year.
Nice.
And that was it. I mean, I think I only actually saw the moon because it was cloudy. I think I saw it 3 or 4 times.
It's Britain for you,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
And I was out swimming in a storm at one point.
Right,
Like,
okay.
my friend insisted on coming with me and sort of stood at the side, and I was in the dark in the water in a storm. Like, I'm doing this. It was the last one. It was like late December, so it was the last one of the year. So I didn't want to miss.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do this. I've said I'm doing it, and I'm not doing 12 out of 13. Even if I do get blown away.
Yeah, you'll take the hit.
Yeah.
It's quite so if someone came to you and they were feeling, pretty down, something maybe life-changing's happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, do you suggest that to them, or do you let them kind of find it for
I
themselves?
think they need to find it. I think they need to just initially, they just need to breathe.
Right.
Just eat and breathe, and just take one day at a time. Because those early days, those first couple of weeks, I don't really remember. I remember bits, but I don't really remember it all because I think you just shut down. And it's almost no point getting therapy then either.
Yeah, because you can't take that in.
You almost need to take the medication if they offer it. I have to say that we were given no support by the powers that be after it happened. So, yeah. But as time goes on, I think one of the things that I did was I started to keep like a bit of a journal about not so much like, but an emotional journal.
Okay.
How I'd felt that day versus what I'd done. And I worked out quite quickly like we talk about triggers a lot, don't we? But what my glimmers were.
Right.
Things that made me feel better and things that made me feel happier. And it's just stuff like taking the dog for a walk or...
Yeah. Do you ever look back at those journals?
No, I don't actually. I don't. I probably should. I don't do it anymore, I think, because I've got those like little, like, I feel rubbish today. Right. I feel really bad. I'm going to go do this.
Right.
I'm going to go to the water.
So you kind of know, like, it's quite a nice thing to get to know.
Yeah. I've identified, like I used to think, and I'm not saying I don't still do this, but I used to think having a couple of glasses of wine would solve things. When I had a bad day, it would relax me, which it does, but it doesn't make me feel anywhere near as good as going for a swim does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
everyone should try it. I know not everyone will because they're scared of what might be in there and stuff, but
yeah.
it's a fish.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, like when something brushes past your legs and you're like, it's not going to be the Loch Ness Monster.
When I first went to Pulbridge Farm, it wasn't like it is now.
Were there fish in there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
I often think, did they get them all out? But
they were massive fish with
were they?
teeth. So I was there one day and I had a meeting in Scarborough. So I literally went for a dip on my way back from a meeting. I was like, I will go try it. And you literally, at that point, you drove up. The car park was like a bog and you put £5 in an honesty box. And there was only the one lake you could swim in.
Was there no sauna?
No sauna, no
that's
cafe.
brave. You was brave.
And the rest of them were fishermen.
Yeah.
So I was swimming in this lake, and all of a sudden this massive fish jumped out of the water in front of me with teeth, and I screamed, but then composed myself and carried on. About 30 seconds later, this fisherman in full waders comes running, and he's like, "Love, you screamed. Are you all right, love?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just saw a fish." And he went, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Like, it's a fishing lake.
It's a fishing lake. He said, "I thought you were drowning or something." So he'd come to rescue me, rolled his eyes, and off he went.
It's that and the bottom, like the mud when you're treading on it. It's kind of like
Silted.
pillows.
Yeah.
It's quite weird.
I do always have swim shoes.
Do you? Yeah, I think next time that's going to be a thing. So swim shoes, hat, and possibly there were a lot of people with gloves.
Yeah, I have gloves. I've got some little like diving boots because they're a bit thicker. And if I go somewhere where I know it's going to be the terrain's not going to be great, I have gloves. I have a woolly hat, but I do just swim in a swimming costume all year round. Which some people have a wetsuit, which is fine.
Yeah, no, you're hardcore. That I like
Yeah,
that.
but I also think wearing a wetsuit, the extra time that gives you in the water is negated by the time it takes to get it off at the side, because when it's really cold, getting your clothes off and getting warm is just as important.
Yeah. I felt that when I came out after my first attempt. I was fine. I was buzzing. I think that adrenaline kicked in, and then my body went, "Oh, you're cold." And I was just like dithering, and one of the girls was like, "You need to wear this."
Yeah, dry robe.
Yeah, the dry robe that I've always been like, dry robe wanker.
Dry robe wanker, yeah.
Now I'm like, I want to be a dry robe wanker.
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a dry robe wanker," and I'm like, at least I'm not just wearing it for the school run.
No, you are.
I do hasten to add, I do wear it for the school run in bad weather because I've got to. What else would I use them for?
They're so expensive as well. That's like wearing a duvet.
It's like wearing a duvet. They're great, and they're great for going camping and stuff as well. Yeah. But I won't go as far as wearing Crocs with it. That's my line.
You've got a limit. I love it. Well, before we finish up, would you, like, if you had to give women a dare to do, like, it could be cold water swimming, or it could just be like a life dare, what would you say to them?
I would probably say, I would jump in cold water, and then what would you do if you didn't think it'd go wrong? What would you be brave enough to do if you didn't think it'd fail? Yeah.
Amazing. Let me just check on. We've done a beautiful time. Listen, thank you so much for being honest and sharing your story. I think it's awesome. I think a lot of people can learn from you. And yeah, there's no words really. Like, I know you say when people say to you, kind of makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, like, oh, you're amazing, because it was just like a survival thing. But yeah, I think, you know, if those things hadn't have happened, if you hadn't have lost Charlotte, that you'd still have some inner strength that a lot of people probably wouldn't have. Yeah. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it has been difficult, but also, you know, it's for living. It's not just for surviving. Yeah. And that she was better than that, and I want to be better than that for her.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thanks, Claire. Appreciate it.
Thank you.